I found my wife's family text thread called Project Escape, Breaking Her Free. I said nothing. Instead, I silently relocated our funds, updated security details. When she attempted to launch step one of their scheme, she realized I'd already finished mine. I'm writing this because even now, months after the dust settled, I still can't fully wrap my mind around the fact that the people I use a barbecue with on Sundays and exchange Christmas gifts were secretly plotting to dismantle my entire life. My name is Ethan. I'm 37, a renewable energy systems analyst in Phoenix, and up until 4 months ago, I thought I was in a strong, steady marriage with a woman who shared not only my home, but my dreams for the future. Her name, was Lauren. We worked in similar fields, talk shop over coffee, made plans for installing solar upgrades in our own home. I thought we were a team. Turns out she was gathering intel. And her family? They turned our marriage into a corporate takedown mission. It started on a Thursday evening, the kind of uneventful, boring Thursday that's supposed to mean stability. I was reviewing commercial solar installation proposals. Lauren was drawing a bath. Her phone lit up on the counter, buzzing nonstop. I didn't mean to snoop. Honestly, I thought maybe it was her project manager or supplier. But then I saw the group name, Project Escape, Breaking Her Free. My stomach dropped into the floor. Something about those words didn't feel like quirky girl humor. I opened it. God help me, I opened it. The people in the thread were the women closest to her mother Carol, her older sister Morgan, her cousin Haley, and her old college roommate Danielle. These were people who had toasted at our wedding. People who hugged me when my dad had a stroke last year. They had been plotting for months a coordinated strategy to help Lauren divorce me and get as much of my business assets as possible. And not just divorce. No, they had actual steps, phases, like they were planning a military op targeting a foreign government. Phase 1. Get photos of all my business contracts, financial documents, equipment invoices. Phase 2. Consult with a high-asset divorce attorney who specializes in technical industries, specifically renewable energy and installation businesses. Phase 3. Have Lauren file harassment and emotional abuse claims, using my long installation hours and project deadlines as evidence of manipulation and control. They even talked about the optimal season to strike. Late spring, peak installation season when contract and equipment were at their highest value. They had studied my business cycles. They had researched what equipment I purchased before versus after marriage. They were weaponizing my work ethic. These weren't drunk late-night thoughts. These were scheduled, strategized, bullet-pointed plans. I scrolled through the messages, my hands surprisingly steady considering my insides felt like they were collapsing. They dissected my personality, my quietness labeled as emotional withholding, my focus during work season called controlling behavior, my introverted days chalked up to psychological manipulation. I almost laughed at the absurdity of it, except nothing about it was funny. The worst part wasn't even the plan. It was seeing Lauren's contributions. Detailed, helpful, enthusiastic. She had been feeding them everything. My financial projections, which clients generated the most revenue, what equipment I was planning to order, even when I'd be out on installations, so she could get clean access to my office. She'd been photographing my statements and contracts like she was doing recon for a competitor. Not living with her husband. The bathwater was still running upstairs. The house was quiet, and I realized I couldn't hear myself breathing. I didn't confront her. The betrayal was too large, too structured. This wasn't an emotional impulse. This was intention. So I screenshot every message. Then I called a business attorney the next morning. Mark Hanley. Guy came highly recommended for dealing with fraud and asset protection. Mark immediately recognized the severity. He told me families pulling this level of plan extraction usually only do so with legal coaching. So I changed passwords, secured accounts, opened new ones she'd never know existed, set up new authentication methods, moved everything traceable into safe channels. Then I started placing a few fake, strategically misleading documents in my office, just to confirm what I already suspected. 2 days later, those same fake projections appeared in their chat thread. That was the day I stopped hoping it was misunderstanding and accepted the reality that the person I shared a bed but was actively trying to gut me financially. Mark told me to install discrete cameras in my office. I did. And 3 days later, while I was supposedly on an installation job at a medical complex, the camera captured Lauren enter my office, picking the cabinet lock, carefully photographing my contracts, and arranging things back like nothing happened. Watching that footage, it felt like seeing a stranger break into my home. Except it wasn't a stranger. It was my wife. And I still slept beside her that night, pretending not to know. The psychological whiplash of that period is hard to describe. Imagine eating dinner with someone while knowing they are plotting to destroy your life. Imagine them kissing you goodnight while planning a restraining order. Imagine her laughing at a movie while her family discusses how to spin your work ethic into emotional torture. For 10 days, I played my part. Ate meals, kissed her, let her lean her head on my shoulder. That duality almost broke me. But once the evidence was airtight, Mark filed divorce papers citing conspiracy, fraud, attempted asset theft. We had every screenshot, every timestamp, every photo she took, every bit of metadata proving premeditation. Mark arranged for the papers to be served at her office because he wanted her attorney and co-workers to witness the professionalism and avoid any he threatened me at home narratives. Within 2 hours, my phone blew up. Lauren crying, screaming, begging, playing confused. Why are you doing this? We were fine this morning. That line hit me harder than anything, because she said it like she believed her own lie. Or maybe she had compartmentalized so deeply she convinced herself she was a victim. Then her family started calling. One by one, I blocked every number. Mark filed for temporary orders, exclusive use of the house, protection of business assets, restraining orders preventing harassment or interference. That same evening, their attorney emailed Mark demanding $250,000 in immediate assets, plus percentages of business income, plus extended spousal support. Mark responded by attaching every screenshot from their Project Escape thread and politely reminding them of the criminal implications: conspiracy to commit fraud, attempted extortion, wire fraud through electronic communication. Funny how quickly the tone of their emails changed. A day later, Lauren's mother, Carol, stormed into my office building screaming that I had ruined their family's reputation. My office manager recorded the whole thing. Security escorted her out as she tried to force her way into my workspace, looking for evidence. Then the smear campaign began. Fake reviews, anonymous posts in renewable energy forums claiming my installations were unsafe. Haley contacted 3 of my biggest clients, claiming I was under investigation for fraud. Danielle called my business partner, pretending to be a concerned insider worried about my mental decline. Morgan posted a long Facebook rant implying I isolated Lauren from her family and financially abused her. We documented everything. Every lie became more evidence of retaliatory harassment. The tipping point happened when my security camera caught Morgan and Haley trying to load my solar installation equipment, $5,000 worth, into their SUV during Lauren's property pickup visit. They claimed the tools were half hers. They weren't. Police were called. Charges filed. Mark smiled the whole time. They finally realized the game had flipped on them. After weeks of failed negotiations, threats, intimidation, and enough lies to fuel a Netflix documentary, their lawyer finally said the words Lauren's family never expected to hear. You need to settle. Now, quietly. The final settlement gave her only personal belongings, her car, and half of our shared savings, about $6,000. I kept the business, the house, everything I built before and during the marriage. Watching her sign those papers, eyes red, hands shaking, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt exhausted. She whispered that she never meant for it to go this far. But the thing is, her own messages proved otherwise. She started the planning. She contributed the strategies. She provided the intel. Her mother tried one last stunt, claiming they had evidence of tax evasion and would file federal reports if I didn't renegotiate. Mark nearly laughed. Filing false reports during an active fraud case? That would have been the easiest felony conviction of the whole saga. She went silent after that. 3 weeks after the divorce finalized, Lauren packed up what little she was legally allowed to take. She wouldn't look at me. I don't know if she was ashamed or just angry her plan crumbled. Maybe both. A month later, I learned she moved out of state and changed her last name. Her family unfriended her on social media. I guess the conspiracy fallout was heavier than they expected. My business? Oddly enough, it thrived. Clients appreciated the transparency, respected how I handled chaos. Some even increased their contracts because they said integrity under pressure is the best proof of trust. I rebuilt my life slowly, installing new security protocols, both digital and emotional. I spent more time with my parents. I reconnected with old friends I drifted from during those chaotic years. And sometimes, late at night, I replay that moment. The buzzing phone on the counter, the group chat name that changed everything. It feels like a lifetime ago. The betrayal still stings, but it also saved me. Because if I hadn't seen that thread when I did, I would have walked straight into a legal slaughter designed by people who looked me in the eye at family dinners. I learned something painful but freeing. Sometimes the people closest to you aren't rooting for your success. They're waiting for the moment it becomes profitable to tear you apart. But I survived. My business grew. My peace returned. And for the first time in years, my life feels like it actually belongs to me again.